Hi everybody, so we are indoors today doing a bit of a first. I've never done a sit-down style interview like this, but we thought that it would be great to give you a little bit more information about Grib Gogh, where they've come from, kind of how it's built and the gear and the ideas behind the gear. So we have a sit-down interview today with Steve from Grib Gogh, and we're going to really kind of give you more of a deep dive into, you know, behind the backpacks, if that makes sense. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I am Steve HEAWORD. I'm the technical director of Grib Gogh. I design, develop, test and produce all of the tactical soldier systems and rucksacks for Grib Gogh.
Alright, so that's quite a lot of scope through the business and getting your fingers stuck into a lot of different pies there.
Yeah, well, we called the company Grib Gogh, and we did it with a G, not a C, because we weren't allowed to use the C after the ARETE in the Snowdonia National Park because somebody else owned that. So, but the company came about because I was climbing with a couple of lads that I'd served with, and I slipped and fell. And at the time, I had a really good rucksack, which was probably one of the better rucksacks at the time in the marketplace. And to be honest with you, I didn't realise how bad it was until I was having a bit of a disco legs and hanging on for grim death and effing and blinding. Couldn't access my kit. The lads who I was roped up, but the lads who I was climbing with, they were hilarious. Well, they were just in stitches. They just thought it was hilarious. When they'd stopped laughing and they decided to recover me, I got to the top. Thought I can do a better job than this, and it was just an epiphany, and it all started from there. And because it all happened on Grib Gogh, we called it Grib Gogh as close as we could to the Welsh ARETE.
Now, I definitely highly recommend when you've watched this, Google Grib Gogh. It's the mountain next to Snowdonia in North Wales. That scares the crap out of me. If you slipped on there and you're still alive today, I've been up there. And the knife edge from either side, I certainly wouldn't want to fall or slip on either side of that.
Well, I was actually climbing the sheer side, so I was going from the bottom to the top, and that's when I slipped, so I was part way up. But I mean, it's a spectacular ridge.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
You can have cloud on one side and sun on the other. It's just a, beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. So, what's your background then from kind of before, as far as military side?
So I served in the UK forces.
Okay.
I sort of drifted into the jungle warfare and tropical warfare programme. So I understand the tropics very, very well. On the soldier systems that we do, we specialise for jungle warfare, tropical warfare and for maritime interdiction.
Okay.
So they're always specialist systems. And again, it's the attention to detail that we put into a system that makes us completely different to everybody else. We were the first company to integrate a climbing harness into a soldier system. We were the first company to add a dorsal lift into a soldier system, and everyone else said it couldn't be done. And we own the patent on that one. Okay. So people have said, can you do this and can you do that? And everyone's gone away and said, no, you can't. So we've done things, and then once we've developed it, we've taken it a stage further. So we've integrated life preservers for the maritime interdiction. So not only do we meet the safety at height standards, we meet SOLAS standards, and then we integrate all the systems together so we comply with the HSE's PPE compatibility protocols. We're the only company at the moment that does.
I think one of the things that I've took just from the few conversations that we've had when I've come into the office is it's almost as though it's a challenge for you guys. Someone says you can't do that, and that's almost
pretty
like
much,
a hold my beer kind of moment.
Yeah. So that's what, and it all starts in the back of a bit of scrap paper. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was that transition then? What was the transition from kind of your experience in the military to climbing and having that incident to thinking this gear could be better? How did you get into the kind of the manufacturing side then?
Well, believe it or not, I was the first person to go to a spinal surgeon and ask a spinal surgeon how you put weight down your back. So you'd have thought the bigger companies like Carrymore, Berghaus, Van Gogh, North Face would have gone to a spinal surgeon 30 years ago. It would appear nobody did. So all our rucksacks, we have a 6-panel layout on the back, which we've patented again, but people have started to copy now. Right? And the thing about this is it works with a musculoskeletal chassis.
Okay.
So most rucksacks actually have the padding on the lumbar region of the spine. So a spinal surgeon told me that here, on the lumbar region of the spine, is the only part of the spine that articulates. It depends on how you stack your rucksack, so how you load it and where the weight is, and how you move and articulate when you're climbing or you're out doing your EDC activities, or just general yomping if you turn suddenly. It's how that weight rests on the lumbar region of the spine is managed by the discs. So most rucksacks that the military have always put the weight on the lumbar region of the spine. And that's why old soldiers have got bad backs. Because the weight there, and it magnifies the amount of pressure on the discs between the vertebrae. So ours has zero pressure on the spine, none whatsoever.
Okay.
And it sits just above the glutes. That sits near your lats, and that's just under the trapezium. We then pad quite heavily the shoulder straps, so we maximise comfort to a degree that most people have yet to benefit from. And another key feature of this is the wicking, the cooling and the venting. It is a significant step change to a lot of other offerings on the market for comfort, manoeuvrability. You know, but a spinal surgeon would know best what's the best way to put weight down your back. So it made common sense to me. It was blindingly obvious.
So does that change the way in which the load disperses then? Because your hip belt mainly has traditionally been there to help to lift some of the weight up so that there's less pressure on your shoulders. Does that change that
not quite
slightly?
right. So on, say for example, now it works differently for front loaders. Yeah. So for a top loader, here, if you look at the shoulder strap, you've got adjustment here that can lift it up, so you can control how the weight sits. Right. Theoretically, the belt should be just above your hip because of the iliac crest around your waist, because you've got no meat there to take the weight, so you don't want hip rub. That's why a female rucksack is slightly different to a male rucksack, because of the way that ladies' hips are shaped and made. So from a comfort point of view, right, you need to pull the weight into your back onto the working muscles. Now, the way this is designed, if you just give that a little bit of a squeeze there, can you feel that plastic inserts in there? That, when it's loaded up, spreads the weight a little bit better over the trapezium muscles. So when you've been yomping for a period of time, what happens is, depending how much weight you've got, you can get a dull ache down the back of your neck down there. Even with these rucksacks and our Bergens, you'll still get that dull ache, but instead of getting it at 10 clicks, it's going to be more like 15 or 16 clicks before it happens. But I can't, you're going to have to go out and do it yourself.
I'm looking forward to testing that.
Because the comfort level is significantly increased with the padding, the way it sits on your back, the whole shebang. The sternum strap here and the adjustment here on the top of the rucksack pulls it all into your chest, pulls it against your back, and then the waist belt fits it in comfortably, so you're actually working with the right muscular groups on your back as you move. And because it's not on your spine, when you twist, even though the weight is still theoretically loaded on your back, the weight transmission is completely different, and you need to try it.
I suppose that would also help as well. I'm just kind of thinking of other things as well. A lot of injuries when walking. I think Mountain Rescue said 99% of their injuries are from people that twist their ankles. But when you go down, you tend to twist. But when you've got a weight on you, that makes a massive difference as well. So I'm guessing just through kind of muscular aches and pains that you'll get through twisting, that will help to alleviate a lot of that as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the thing is the Royal Society of Science did a test with day sacks.
Yeah.
And because I'd done this and made these claims about the back system, they wanted to validate it.
Okay.
And on the test, this rucksack, it was the Constrictor rucksack that they used for the test. This was the heaviest rucksack in the group of day sacks. So that was between 30 and 45 litres.
Yeah.
So we were about 320 grams heavier than the next heaviest rucksack. But when they did the trials, they used these equivocal testers. So it tested for your posture, skin temperature, heart rate, amount of breaths that you took per minute.
Yeah.
Ours was significant less than anyone else's. The rates that we had, they had a better posture because it had like an inclometer on it.
Yeah.
They had better breathing, the skin temperature was better, the heartbeat was lower, and they couldn't quite understand why it was the heaviest bag in the group, but it used the least amount of energy. And it was quite simple. It's heavier because there's a little bit more padding.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also impact resistant. So if you were to fall back and fall onto your back, that would also protect your spine.
Yeah.
We also put compression straps everywhere. Because the one thing you learn quite quickly, especially when you're loaded in the military, when you're yomping along and you've got weight, you need to compress and strap that weight and hold it tightly. Yeah. If it moves on your back, subconsciously you compensate for that movement and then you use more energy.
Yeah.
You know? And if the weight is moving, you're uncomfortable, your heart rate goes up, your posture alters. It's all common sense really, and it's all boxed into a nice little package.
I'm a massive advocate of compression straps.
Yeah.
There's so many bags out there that when you look at, even just for EDC use, whether you're doing city breaks or going into the office, getting stuff out of the car, or just being able to make sure that whatever you've got in there is nice and secure as well, to have that security that it's not flying all over the place. So yeah, I mean that's another great thing to hear as well.
And we over-engineered it.
Yeah.
So if you look here, there's 5 bar tacks and it's reinforced with webbing for the shoulder straps.
Yeah.
So there's a video I'll ping over to you. We actually towed a car with the rucksacks to show you how robust and strong these bags are. So that video will be played at a later date for you.
Yeah.
On the buckles, so on all the latest bags, we ended up designing our own buckles, which the Moorlander will show you at a later date as to the teeth and stuff, as it does a close-up on the buckles, as to why they're so strong and robust compared to other buckles on the market. They're now combat proven and have been very, very effective. So we've got our own buckle regime in place. Other little things we've done. So this is the Constrictor 2, which was an update on the original Constrictor. So again, inside the lid, it's a top loader. We have 2 compression straps that cross when you fasten them at the top to keep your load in when you're using the extended snow skirt. It has here a zip on the front in case you want to access kit at the bottom of your bag. So, and what we've done here is to make it more robust, is we've always put the compression straps on the inside of the zip, which the Moorlander will show you at a later date. So that then, when it pulls over and locks in and you compress your load, it takes the strain off the zip. The problem with a lot of front loaders is the zip is at the single catastrophic point of failure. So we've mitigated that quite significantly. Little other features on it, so down the side we've got attachment points, we've got molly, walking stick loops and a walking stick anchor point here, so you've got your walking sticks at the sides. We've got crampon loops at the top and the bottom in case you want to put prussaks on it, and here because we wanted these for the prussaks, the crampon loops at the bottom, we did the water bottle so it would roll up, and then you can put your drinks bottle in here.
Right, okay.
And then that's also secured in with a side compression strap.
Yeah.
We've got here a bladder pocket inside, and then we've got access for the bladder tube that comes out through the side.
Yeah.
And through here.
And is that the same on both sides?
That's the same on both sides,
yeah.
left and right hand access. And we've got little anchor points just for putting things on once you've compressed everything up.
Yeah.
Got anchor points on the base, and we have grab handles on the base. Now that's particularly important if somebody's injured and you can't get a rescue team to them, because of the support that this gives you here, right? You can actually lift somebody and carry them either side and support the spine.
Okay.
So we put lift handles everywhere, because if that person may be bigger than normal,
Yeah.
right? You've got two either side and you've got one hand between his legs, lift him. So long as you support the neck, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So we looked at other ways of supporting people who like to go on the extreme side of the EDC and have a play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
See, from a completely civilian kind of point of view, having grab handles all the way around it, certainly for travelling, I get to go some crazy places, but just random stuff like trying to. You put your stuff in the overhead compartment on a plane, and then I don't know, some Karen comes and moves your stuff, and it's all like just being able to have something that's all the way around it just to grab it from any sort of situation. Yeah, sold. I'll take 3.
So when this is fully compressed up, it also meets the carry-on size as well, by the way.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, but you just have to tighten it that little bit, because you know how airlines cheat. It's supposed to be, say, 25 centimetres, and really it's about 23.5.
Yeah.
Because they want to charge you more money.
With a little bit of force, you can make it fit into those.
Absolutely,
those
yeah.
anyway.
And they are very robust, and I'm quite pleased with them, because we do test them to destruction.
Yeah.
I mean, the braking strains on these handles is phenomenal. A bit later on, we'll do a little bit of a demonstration. If we'll get your camera jacked up, and I'll get Chris in, and then you can put the rucksack on, and Chris and I will just move you across the floor so you guys can see how it's done.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like fun.
Okay.
So it sounds as though there's been a lot of successes out of this. How have you found then that's then changed into, I suppose, awareness around the world? How's Grib Gogh going and getting into different?
So from a commercial perspective, we've neglected that market.
Okay.
Right. So we've concentrated so much on the military and doing the tropical warfare programs and the maritime interdiction, and that footprint is now quite secure.
Right.
We are way ahead of everyone else in the way we think, the way we produce, and what we bring to the table. I mean, we've done some serious operational step changes, and now those step changes would like to flow down to the commercial market.
Yeah.
And people like your good self, who takes stuff, they criticise it, and this is where we now need to look as the next stage in our evolution.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, there'll be things on it you may or may not like.
Yeah.
And please be brutal.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, because we don't have an issue with that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then there's a second bag that obviously we'd like you to have a look at. So there's 2 versions of this. There is a front loader, which the Moorlander will be doing at a later date with you guys. And there's the top loader. So that's the Constrictor. And we have the Anaconda, which is a Bergen. So again, going back to the Royal College of Physicians, so this is a top loader as well, and it's got a split compartment at the front, so you can compartmentalise your kit as you load it. The main compartment doesn't have front access.
Okay.
Right, because these will carry huge amounts of weight.
Yeah.
So and I don't risk a zip on it. But we've done an adjustable back system again. If you can see this, with the 6 pads all around here, and we've got a 4-point adjustment capability with this, because a lot of manufacturers, they only have 1 point of adjustment, and then you get this part of the back system rocks, and if it rocks, you end up consuming more energy to compensate for the movement again.
It's usually that. It's like a Velcro system that loops through, and then you just move.
So we've done it so it's fully adjusted here, right? So you've got your 2 adjustment points here and 2 adjustment points here that you pull down.
Yeah.
So you're doing opposing forces, so it can't twist.
Okay.
And it's been hugely successful. So this has been trialled in a number of jungles around the world, because obviously on a long range jungle patrol, you carry more kit, you carry more rations, your purifiers, a whole raft of other items I can't mention.
Okay.
So, and when you've been yomping for long periods of time, this again is very comfortable. Again, we've got the plastic insert in the shoulder strap, you can see.
Yeah.
It's hugely padded, and you can adjust this purposely to fit your back.
Yeah.
So this particular model has the older buckles we used that we decided to move away from.
Yeah.
So when you do your comparison, you can see why. We have elastic on all of the compression straps, so you can fold it up and tuck it away.
That helps so much.
Same on the constrictor.
Yeah.
Right, so it's the little attention to detail that makes the difference, I think. I'm a big believer in taping up. So when I've adjusted my rucksack, out comes the sniper tape, especially on the shoulder straps. So I adjust my shoulder straps, I tape everything up, and then, you know, I go, but that's a bad habit.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to inflict my stupidity on your audience.
No, the what's it on? Yeah, just so much more useful. I also like the fact that you've got the loops on the end here as well, to stop those from coming off.
Yeah.
I noticed a few people or the manufacturers started to use those, and it just makes sense why they've just never been used, or they're not used as often.
I hate to say this, we were the first.
All right, okay, well there you go. You heard it here first.
And they've started copying a lot of things we do. Even here, right, when we've done the butterfly detail, again we're protecting zips, you know.
Yeah.
So what it does is, if you have just a strap, all the torque load on that strap's at one point. Because this is spread over a bigger area, it spreads the load and protects the zip more. You know.
Right, okay.
So. Anyway, I'll look forward to your criticisms and comments.
Yeah, I'm generally looking forward to getting out, just to do the both with them, to see how, especially for the constrictor, constrictor 2, seeing how that works is just a daily kind of grab bag, go to the office, but then that crossover with it, for what it's really designed for, is to get out and actually do some walking and go out for a decent yomp in it. So I'm super looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. Now, hopefully, I mean, I haven't got these yet, so I'm going to start testing them. But as soon as they're tested, follow me on Instagram. You'll be able to see me testing it on there, and then I'll make sure I keep you all up to date with when the actual content for both of these has been released.
Okay, so we're now going to do a two-man extraction, as we showed, as we talked about previously. So we have the Moorlander now in a casualty situation on the deck. Chris and I are going to extract him using the rucksack from here. So what we do is we both get in, we support his neck like so, we lift, and then we're good to go. We take him out and we get him to safety. Take over.
That's great. Well, sorry. That's nuts. It's crazy because you feel completely flat whilst you're being lifted. I've never experienced anything like that. Well, I mean, I've never been on a backboard, but I imagine that's what it would feel like. Cool. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this piece of content. Just a bit more of an idea into who Grib Gogh are, how they work, and kind of the benchmarks that they're almost well, not almost, the benchmarks, the new benchmarks that they're now creating, and I look forward to bringing you some content in the future. Don't forget, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.